Taurus, welcome to Monarch Intuition, and today I'm going to be doing your July 2022 mid-monthly check-in reading for you. So what's going on for the sign of Taurus? What do we need to know? If you're new to my channel, what I like to do is I like to pull one major arcana to see the energy and then clarify with a different deck. So what's going on for Taurus? We have the Devil. Oh, no. All right. It's going to be one of those readings, I can already tell. This can represent contracts being drawn up between you and another entity right here, all right? A actual physical contract. It doesn't have to be a contract with the devil. Capricorn is ruled by the devil. Capricorn rules contracts. It also represents peering deeply within a contract before you sign a situation over to someone else or sign something that has a very large effect within your life. For example, when you buy a home, when you buy a car, whatever, right? The devil can also be a perverse version of the lovers, or it is a perverse version. It represents that you are chained to a situation, you know that it's toxic, but you refuse to leave it, okay? So let's clarify this devil energy. I'm going to be using the Revelations Tarot. We're going to pull 3 cards from this deck. This deck does have reversals, and then we're going to see what this devil energy is. Let's clarify this. So you might have bad habits, but you refuse to give them up. You might be signing a contract. I'd be very careful doing that, especially nowadays with the way that the world is going, because you don't want to sign yourself too deep into a situation because things are not promised or guaranteed, right? So what's going on? We have the devil. Wow. Wow. Double clarification of the devil. The 6 of Swords and the Wheel of Fortune in reversed. Here's the thing about the devil, okay? Let's look at it from the spiritual aspect of this situation. You can make a deal with the devil. You can make a contract with it. But once you decide to give up that contract, you face the negative karma for a certain period of time because you made that contract, okay? You have to understand that. When you make a deal with Satan or demons or whatever, just because you end the contract, just because, you changed your life, you gave yourself over to God or whatever, doesn't mean that the negative repercussions of that contract are still there, okay? So it's kind of like you leaving the situation and understanding you have to face this Wheel of Fortune in reversed. You understanding that you have to go to the bottom of the wheel to go back out, okay? So maybe this is you right now. Maybe you dabbled within certain scenarios within your life when you were younger, and now you're facing the negative repercussions and you're asking for forgiveness or whatever the situation is. You still have to face the negative karma and the negative trials for whatever it was, okay? Same thing goes when you buy, I don't know, a house. Or, let's use a debit card, for example, or any credit system. You pay something every month, right? And then 1 month or maybe for 2 months, you miss 2 payments on time. And it hits your credit score. Sometimes you have, credit forgiveness, whatever, but let's just say in this scenario, it hits your credit score twice. On the second scenario, you still gain, $1 million, right? But those 2 dings on your credit score still happened. It still lowered it, all right? That's what this is right here. You can still get out of this situation, but you still have to face the negative repercussions of you missing the 2 payments, all right? That's what this is. It's like if you sign a contract and you end it prematurely, they can still do a lot of things to you, like whether it be a house, a car, a government contract, whatever. They can still go after you, even if you feel like it's not right. And you might even win the situation, but that doesn't mean that you don't have to face the trials. And so what I'm seeing right here with this devil energy is you're saying, I would rather just take off this chain that's around my neck and move forward into a new situation. And you're solemnly moving forward. You're solemnly saying to yourself, okay, it is what it is. I have to face the truth. The Wheel of Fortune in reverse is saying you have to face the bottom of the wheel. But the thing about the Wheel of Fortune in reverse is that once it hits the bottom, it has no place to go but up. So I want to see why this is happening to you right here. Those cards want to come out. Immediately we have the Tower and the Emperor. The 6 of Knives. Wow, I got the exact amount of cards I needed. And 6 of Knives, the Moon, the Daughter of Scepters, and the 7 of Scepters. So let's look at this Tower with this Emperor. This is like the Emperor saying to himself, I got everything from the contract with the devil, but I don't want it anymore, and he destroys the tower himself and he leaves. Okay? He destroys his kingdom. He says, I'm no longer going to be king of this empire. I'm going to let it all burn down. I don't want anything that the devil has, because here's the thing you have to understand about the devil. None of the stuff that the devil gives you is his. It's on loan. Okay? God made the earth, if we're going to look at it from the biblical perspective, because we have to understand tarot is extremely biblical, right? God made the earth. The angels fell. God gave the earth to the devil. God's promise to the earth was that he will come back, excommunicate the devil for eternity, and then he will reign on this earth, or Jesus will reign for 10,000 years, something like that. That's what this is. This is the emperor realizing that at the end of the day, all the stuff that the devil owns is not his. All right? It's on loan. It still belongs to God. It still belongs to the Creator. That's why when Jesus went through the 3 trials, he said, man cannot live by bread alone. God created the world. Why would I test the spirits? Like, he gave the devil 3 different tests when the devil was testing him 3 times. He came up with conclusions to beat the devil at these 3 tests. And the conclusion was the suffering was better than taking anything that the devil had to offer in the present moment, because none of it was his. With this 6 of Knives, double clarification with this moon is it's like you're moving through the confusion right here. You're saying, I must face the confusion of chaos. Because the moon represents Hecate or Heka. Heka was the Egyptian god of magic. He was also the ruler of chaos magic. Same with Hecate. She ruled necromancy, chaos magic. She ruled the confusion energy. This is you saying, I have to be prepared to mentally move through the confusion right here. The daughter of scepters, once again, this is you pushing back against anything. The spirits are looking at you, willing to test you, wanting to test you, wanting to make your life a living hell, but you have to use this scepter that the daughter of scepters has. It's not the best scepter, it's not the strongest scepter, but it's the only scepter that you have fighting this, whatever the situation is, to push back against all these negative things, okay? With this Wheel of Fortune in reverse right here, this is you saying, I'm pushing back against everything that the devil's offering, because the devil will still come by, make your life absolutely miserable, to break you down, to bring you all the way to the bottom of the Wheel of Fortune, to the bottomless pit, right? And torment you, even on this earth, even before you die, torment you and torment you and torment you, and see if you will break. See if you will have, give into the situation. And if you don't, then it automatically just clears up like that. It's the weirdest thing. When you finally pay off all of the negative karma, it's like instantaneously gone. Like all of a sudden, the sun comes out, you feel better, you're like, what the hell was that all about? So this is you pushing back against the devil right here. All of this. Paying back a negative contract, paying back a negative karma or a negative debt. This could be you breaking a generational curse, a curse that was put on your lineage. A couple more cards. We have the Prince of Scepters and the 2 of Scepters. It's like, as soon as it's done, you have the energy to continue to move forward within your life. And here's the thing about the devil. You gain the secrets. You might not keep everything. After you pay off the negative karma, you still have the secrets. You can still move forward with what you've gained and what you know. That's the problem with dark magic right there, is people are afraid to face their negative karma for dabbling in it. So they just say, well, this is fine. I'm just going to stay within my misery, because they don't want to pay the devil back. Okay? And sometimes they do, but they still think that they're unforgiven or they're unforgivable in a situation. This is you saying, oh, well, I just paid that all back. Goodbye. I'm done with it. I'm taking my secrets and going away. Moving very, very quickly to a new situation within your life. You have the 2 of Skulls balancing out the situation with the Hierophant. Like, the situation is balanced out under the contractual obligation to God itself, all right? You have to understand that the Hierophant connects to God. It is the Pope card. So it represents being divine blessings itself, being divinely connected to God. This is the perverse version of the Hierophant as well. It represents a blessing to the devil, or being contractually obligated to the devil, right? So this is like a positive perspective. The devil is the negative perspective. The devil tries to tempt the Pope as well. Tempts the Pope and the clergy members and whatnot. And a lot of times, you have to understand that they do give in to temptation. So with this 2 of Skulls right here, this can also represent you seeing that certain things within your life could also be temptations. I'm going to clarify this Hierophant and this Two of Skulls because you're seeing something through the looking glass right here. The Eight of Skulls. You're saying that ultimately you can only get yourself out of this situation. It's like you want to ask God for help, or you want to ask your angels or the divine, but you're saying, no, I'm going to face it and pay it myself, because ultimately, here's the thing. When you ask angels for help, they still make you struggle. If you're struggling with the devil, and then you say, hey, angel, I need help, that angel's going to be like, oh, you're struggling? Well, unfortunately, in order to gain my powers, I have to make you struggle more. Like, that's the situation between both entities themselves, and you're realizing that they're kind of like the same side of the looking glass. All right, not the same side, but opposite sides of the looking glass with this Two of Cups. One's just more sinister and one looks more humane. However, they're still the same person. They still make you struggle. So this is you saying, okay, well, ultimately, I don't need to ask for help, but what I can do is I can work on this myself and move forward. I don't need to obligate myself to any entity right here, which is fine. The Ace of Cups being emotionally fulfilled with the Ace of Pentacles, Aries got that. This is you finally achieving a goal for yourself that makes you very happy, okay? You attain a situation by not having anything on either side. You maintain a neutrality ground, a neutral ground for yourself. So stay neutral to a situation right here. Don't throw yourself into anything. Don't ask the angels. Don't ask the demons. Work through this yourself. Push back, because you have to understand, this is the page. This represents you, all right? You alone, this one page, is pushing back against the devil and his demons. He doesn't have help, or she doesn't have help, all right? But you have the Lord of Scepters coming out. So the Lord of Scepters is the King of Wands, right? This is you moving past all of these situations, going from this daughter, from this prince, to this king energy. This is you saying, I can now finally sit on my throne and be happy. We have the Prince of Grails. Because you've been through these trials and these tribulations, you're more receptive in helping other people get through them, okay? The Nine of Pentacles. Here's the thing. Great spiritual teachers, I'm going to be honest with you, great spiritual teachers have dabbled in some of the darkest arts, all right? And when it comes to that, they have to pay off that negative karma regardless. You still have to pay it off. But ultimately, once you've paid it off, it makes you more enlightened to how these things work, okay? How the laws of equivalent exchange works. How working with demons is almost as bad as working with the devils themselves, all right? Because when you work with an angel, they still make you struggle. When you work with the demon, they torment you, all right? And here's the thing. They don't just immediately start tormenting you. They do it like at the least opportune moments within your life. You have to understand that. Say, for instance, I'll bring this up. Let's talk about this. Say, for instance, you make a deal with the devil, right? You say, I'll give you my firstborn child if I can attain all the wealth in the world. All right, the devil says, all right, sure, whatever. And so you go throughout your life and say maybe you have an abortion or whatever. The devil doesn't accept that as the firstborn. Okay, you have to understand that yourself. The devil does not accept that. Your child must be born, and then it takes control. And here's the thing. The devil will not just take the child immediately. It'll make sure that, it's blessed with all these different things. Kind of like, the three fairies with Maleficent, right? The child will be beautiful. The child will go through all these different things. The child will attain great things. And then at the least opportune moment, the devil takes them. When you are so connected to the child where you feel like if you lost the child, you'll be absolutely nothing within your life, that is how the devil does something, okay? That, you have to understand that in itself. And I know that was like one very dark, but that is the law of this nature itself, all right? The law of the demons versus the law of the angels. The Two of Cups with the Four of Swords right here. You have to understand that you have to accept peace right here. You have to go into this retreat moment. You have to understand within maybe July, maybe you're at the end, the culmination to something, the culmination of this energy. Try to be at peace as much as possible. Don't try to get, back at people. Don't even ask anything right here. Work through it yourself. call upon blessings and guidance. All right? Read whatever literature, religious literature that you have, whatever you have to do that. But try to work through this as much as possible. And once you do, I do see that you overcoming the situation allows you to emotionally engage with other people. All right? Emotionally engaging with other people from a place of knowing with this Nine of Pentacles. All right? So let's look at your Witch's Familiar's energy. And you know, that whole scenario that I just mentioned about the firstborn child, that is actually the law of that, because it has to say born. So being born means physically coming to this life. And so that's one of the contracts with the devil, is that the child must be born. All right? It's kind of like the story of Rumpelstiltskin. All right? You have to understand that, you know, these things, these myths, these fairy tales, they're all based within demonic law. Or angelic law. Yeah. We have malice, goblin. Yeah, like, that's the situation, is that they are malicious entities. They might help you out, and as long as you do their bidding, because you're not truly in control of them, they'll lend you their powers if they like you. They'll make contracts with certain people, but certain people they're not going to deem worthy. They'll pretend to like them and then, you know, harm them in the end. But sometimes they're like, you know what, that person's special. I want to work with that person. But if you break the contract, you still pay them back. Stag beetle, tenacity. You have to continue to move forward through the malicious energy right here. The demons are tempting you, the devil's tempting you, whatever the situation is, you could be dealing with an addiction problem, whatever within your life, push past it. Understand, hey, no, can't have it. You're going to tempt me, you're going to torment me, still can't have it. That's what this is. Let me get you a couple of angel oracle cards. Boundaries and truth. You know the truth, and now you can set up your boundaries. Once you get through whatever this is, you're going to understand, hey, that's, you know, here's the thing. That's part of the reason that I don't work with them. Because it's too much. The price is too fucking much. And some people think that it's not. And it's like, but you haven't paid it back. That's the thing. It's actually, let me talk about this real quick for you. Selling your soul is actually not possible, okay? Because your soul is not yours. Your soul is the breath of life that God has given you, okay? God has breathed into humans his breath, the breath of life. It is not yours to sell because it belongs to God. What happens is you can contract your physical body to a demon, and regardless of you carrying the breath of life from God, your physical body can do sins and problems and iniquities. That's why it says even a child is known by its doings, right? Your physical body can still perform malicious activities and bad things, even with the breath of God. You can still lie, you can still cheat, you can still steal, you can still do all these negative things. You can't sell your soul, the thing that God has given you, but you can sell your physical body to the works of demonic forces. Okay? That's what you have to understand about this right here. And that's why some people cannot give up their entities, and that's why they continuously do evil, because they are afraid to give up any works that they've done, because it all comes crashing down on the emperor. It takes it all away. Ceremony, you may have done a perverse ceremony because it came out in reverse. Integration. Here's what you need to do. You need to divinely align yourself right here after this is done. All right? Divinely align yourself. And here's the thing. There are negative angels out there. There's the angel of death. The angel of death is controlled by God. Like, It's one of the most powerful ones that there is. A lot of people say it's a demon. It's not. It's an angel. That's why angels say, be not afraid all the time, because they're completely terrifying. Angels are scary. They're not these beautiful celestial whatever entities that, you know, they paint in Michelangelo. They are truly cosmic entities that will scare the absolute daylights out of you, right? That's why they always tell people, be not afraid. The devil, on the other hand, appears beautiful, however they want to appear. You have to understand that. Integrate yourself with the alignment of maybe a negative positive entity, because you have to understand the high priestess and the pope sit two ways on a graph. All right, look at the graph like this. She is a negative entity that has ascended, and he is a positive entity that has descended. All right, because she sits at the pinnacles of yin and yang. She's created the proper life for herself. She understands there are all these different things you can still attain enlightenment. So she is a negative entity that has ascended. He is a positive entity, the Pope, who works with all these things and keeps the money for himself, however, donning the mask and the guise of, you know, God. So positivity descended. Like that. So you have to understand that for yourself. Like, for instance, some people do not like the idea of, you know, gold and glitter and jasper and all that other, you know, whatever when they read the Bible. They're like, I don't want that. And truly, like, I'll be honest with you, I don't like that stuff either. Like, I don't like sunshine and rainbows and glitter and flare. However, not every angel is like that. God itself is not like that. Understand that. That's more of human writings about certain situations, not the actual cosmic belief itself. So, anyway, let me get you a couple of these. And that's why you have to think that it's weird about Catholicism, because the soul, since it's technically part of God, the reason Catholics are so, like, worried about christening someone when they're born is because they're afraid that the child will do something bad in its physical body, or the demons could try to come to that child and make them sign a pact, whatever. Sign the physical flesh away. Once you sign the physical flesh away, it pretty much corrupts your soul. Not even corrupts it. It can't be corrupted because it's God's soul. But your physical body will always want to do something. Okay? Because you have to think your soul is more neutral grounds completely. All right? Your soul wants to connect to a higher power. Your soul wants to understand the knowingness to be part of something more than itself, because it is part of something more than itself. Everyone has the innate ability to feel something more spiritual, whether it's through music, drugs, alcohol, whatever, connecting to that source, right? Because everyone is part of that. Your physical body, the way that your brain works, is completely different to that situation itself. Your physical body, the way that your brain works, the way that you think, the way that you talk, move, whatever, that can be signed away, all right? Cauldron, synergy, and healing, skull of stars, infinite possibility. This is all about healing right here with this Four of Swords and tenacity, moving forward through the malice. Cauldrons, and here's the thing about goblins, though, they're really not that powerful. They perform a lot of negative things within your life, but they're very, how can I put it? They're very minor, but they accumulate into one big thing, if that makes sense. It's like your tire goes flat, you lost your keys, oh no, your phone's out of data, like all this shit happens all at once kind of thing, right? So with the Skull of Stars, infinite possibilities, and this synergy and healing with this cauldron energy, you have infinite possibilities once you play out this situation, play out this cycle. Focus on the healing aspect of it. Understand the lesson that you were learning right here, even if it's a very, very harsh lesson. Why is it playing out? What did you do? What is the scenario behind it? And see, okay? And if you asked an angel for help, understand that sometimes the way that they help you, it can seem pretty bad, like, to be honest. Like, the angel fought with Jacob all night long, fought him, wrestled with him, beat him up, all right? Bloody noses for his blessing. Like, he was beating him. That was the malicious energy from the angel. They don't play around either. That's what a lot of people think. They think that angels are just going to appear and like, oh my gosh, I want to help you. No, they'll beat you up. It was horse. Earthly meaning, moving, progress, travel, cooperation, and partnership. The spiritual meaning is inner progress and the duality of nature. Remember what I talked about with that high priestess and the Pope energy. We have Berkana, encourage ideas, aid creative endeavors, nurture a project, and help with family right here. So I do see things could slowly over time get better for you. They will if you continue to focus on, this path. And here's the thing about the straight and narrow path. The straight and narrow path can apply to taboo paths as well, okay? Because when we look at the straight and narrow path in itself, what does that actually mean? It means shunning things that drive you away from your goal. Your goal could be one of the most taboo things in the world. Let's talk about it. Your goal could be a porn star. But there's still a straight and narrow path to being a porn star, regardless of if you're straight or not. That's not what I mean. The straight and narrow path is not getting addicted to drugs, taking care of your physical body, only working with people who are workable, saving your money, not spending it on drugs, not having extra sex, not having, all these other things. Because there are porn stars who make millions of dollars and retire in mansions, and then they raise happy families. And then there are porn stars who don't. See, there's still a straight and narrow path regardless of whatever path you choose to take. So anyway, Taurus, I hope you enjoyed this reading, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.